Okay, for number 3, we have a question with a plane or a helicopter with wind, right? So we're going to use our table, right? Our table with 2 rows and 3 columns, right? 2 rows and 3 columns. And the columns are going to be our distance equals rate times time. Or rate times time equals distance, doesn't matter, right? And then one of the directions the helicopter flies is going to be with the wind, and one of them is going to be against the wind, right? And if this were a boat problem, one would be with the current, one would be against the current. So now it says with a tailwind. A tailwind means that the wind is coming from behind. That's with the wind. It says a helicopter flies 300 miles in 1.5 hours, 1.5 hours, right? And when the helicopter flies back, the trip takes 3 hours, and it flies back the same route, so this is 300 miles. And the middle column, the rate column, is the tricky column, because there's the speed of the helicopter in still air, and then there's the wind. So if h is the speed of the helicopter in still air, when you're flying with the wind speed is going to get added to you. And when you're flying against the wind speed is going to slow you down. You're going to subtract from it. And now the equations come right across each row because it's distance equals rate times time. So the first equation is 300 equals h plus w, right, times 1.5. And the second equation is 300 equals h minus w times 3, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both sides of the top equation by 1.5 and both sides of the bottom equation by 3. So what do I get? 300 divided by 1.5, right, is 200, right? 200. So 200 equals h plus w. And the bottom one, I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and I get 100 equals h minus w. And now I'm going to add the two equations. 300 equals 2h. The w's cancel out, w and negative w. And then divide by 2, and we get 150 equals h equals 150. And now let's solve for w, right? So I'll take one of the easy equations. I'll take like this one, right? And I get 200 equals h plus w. We know h is 150. 200 equals 150 plus w. Subtract 150 from both sides. And we get 50 equals w. So w equals 50. So the question says, what's the helicopter speed in still air, and what's the wind speed? So the helicopter speed in still air is 150 miles per hour, and the wind speed is 50 miles per hour. And this would be the answer to this question.